Hello everybody, Tracy Sizemore here. We are on day 14 of RPGaDay, and the question today is, which RPG do you prefer for open-ended campaign play? I don't play a whole lot of different games. I don't know, I've played a lot, but not in campaigns, right? So my answer is going to be a little bit, I don't know, myopic, I guess, but I'll have reasons. So my answer for this is, which RPG do you prefer for open-ended campaign play? My answer is Savage Worlds, and at least of the games that are currently out. I also could make a case for Daryl Hayhurst's game in waiting that he has been designing for a long time, but that's not out and available or anything. So, and it's not like it's better than Savage Worlds. It's just I would like that too. So, I would say Savage Worlds, and here's my reason why, or a couple of reasons. One is it is still a sort of traditional RPG in the sense of, you know, the tried and true of skills, of dice rolling, and letting the dice sort of have a say in what happens in unpredictable ways, while still allowing you to control how those dice affect you through bennies and through how the GM sort of interacts with you. So I think part of the beauty of role-playing games in terms of when they're at their best is when you have a story and you're collectively sort of telling that story as a GM with your players and as a player with your GM. There's that aspect of role-playing, but what I think really, well, what one kind of system can do as well is inject something unpredictable. Like, let's see how well your character uses that sniper rifle to take the shot. You know, dice will play a role in that. You may be really good at it, giving you a better chance to do it well. You may be really bad at it, giving you a very bad chance to do it well. In particular, Savage Worlds, you don't know how you're going to do until you roll those dice. And there's going to be odds that will make your success more likely the better you are at it. But there is always the possibility that you might knock it out of the park no matter how good you are at it. So, or you might flub it no matter how good you are at it. And Savage Worlds is particularly good at this because of the exploding dice mechanic, and it allows, in the description of even the designer himself, Shane Hensley, Savage Worlds allows a shy player to play a character without having to be a super involved role player or persuader in order to play that character. If you're going to take the shot, you roll the dice, and if you roll well, if you say explode that roll and get, where a success would be, a 4, let's say you roll a 38. You've knocked that roll out of the park, and all of a sudden your character looks awesome. And the GM can describe how awesome your character looks. And that's why I really like Savage Worlds. There are arguments to be made for other systems that don't do this, that have a more narrative method of play. And I think there are places for those systems, like Fate and stuff like that. I run Fate all the time, but I wouldn't want to run Fate as a campaign that extends over a long period of time. But Savage Worlds, on the other hand, I would, because it sort of takes some of the pressure off the GM and it allows for those moments of exceptional happenings, you know. I think Savage Worlds is particularly well suited for it. The other thing that makes Savage Worlds really well suited for long-ending campaigns or long-running campaigns is its advancement system. Advancement in Savage Worlds is really well balanced. Balance is a bad way of saying it. What I mean is, it allows you to feel like you're advancing, like your character's developing, like you're learning things and you're getting better at what you do and all this stuff. And yet it doesn't do it in a way that breaks the game or makes the game particularly difficult, or ratchets up the difficulty of the game as you advance the character. So it does add some complications, because advancement in Savage Worlds basically gives you more options rather than gives you more power. There's exceptions. It makes you a better character, a more effective character. But the idea behind Savage Worlds advancement, I think, is that it gives you more options rather than more power. And that is an important distinction from, say, for example, D&D, where as you level up and get into those higher levels, all of a sudden the session time, which could have been devoted, 60% to role-playing a story and 40% to fighting the monsters, all of a sudden becomes more like 65% fighting and 35% role-playing, because the power creep of leveling up, especially at the higher levels, forces you to have to deal with stronger monsters and forces you to have to sort of whittle down this huge pool of hit points with your more powerful character. And suddenly those fights become more involved and take more time, and at a certain point it might even become less interesting. So Savage Worlds doesn't tend to do that much. The fights are the fights, and Savage Worlds is fast, furious, and fun. That's its tagline. That's what it's all about, and it keeps being fast, furious, and fun, even at the extreme ends of advancement, of character advancement. And that's why I think I would choose Savage Worlds for a long-running campaign over most other systems. There's not to say that there aren't plenty of others out there that would be great. I haven't played a whole lot of them, and so of the ones I have played, that's the one I would choose. And I guess I'll leave it at that. I don't know. I'm probably not making any sense, or I'm pissing people off, but I don't know. That's why, and there it is. Okay, talk to you tomorrow.